Welcome to Leaders Differently. I am your host, Dr. Lavella McGarry, and today with me is Barbara Tyson with the Joy organization. I've known Barbara for a while due to credit repair. She is, I call her a beast. And when I met her back in 2017, I think,
Yeah.
your goal then was to help 250 families to get into homes. So that just speaks of your track record. So for those that are tuning in, please get a friend, share the link. This session is going to be informative. You'll also see yourself and Barbara in a sense of you having that vision and building that vision, and now you're expanding the vision. Our topic on today is building a community with at-risk kids. And what does that mean for you? Identifying support awareness, connecting, communicating, and intercepting. Also helping organizations like Joy to be more effective in the community. So Barbara, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, I'm Barbara Tyson, of course. I am the owner of Unique Financial Solutions. So that is my for-profit company that I started, and Dr. McGorry was saying that credit repair was one of those flagship things that I did, and I am currently still doing and putting people in position to live their dreams, and not only live their dreams, purchase their dream homes, and etc. I am a veteran of the U.S. Army. I'm a mother, a wife, and definitely an activist. And I advocate on behalf of youth that really don't have a voice or not considered to be one to have a voice.
Hmm. Thank you for that. You said to be considered as one that has a voice, because we have those that have a voice and still don't know or haven't recognized that they have a voice to be an advocate in their community. So thank you so much for sharing that. Again, we're speaking about at-risk kids or building a community with at-risk kids. Again, we think about it, we talk about it. It's just like mental health. Now they're actively doing something about mental health. Even though we talk about at-risk kids, what are we doing? What's our positioning? And what is our voice concerning the matter? So when we talk about at-risk kids, in the broadest sense, what would be an at-risk kid? What would be the character traits of an at-risk kid or youth?
Okay. I heard what you said, sort of, but it was like really like breaking up or something. But I
Okay.
know that you said something along the lines of that's a really crazy echo or like a sound that I don't really, I'm not able to make out every word. Um, But I believe that you were asking me when I think of at-risk kid, what are some of the signs? And so basically to identify at-risk kid, well, first, let's just establish what at-risk youth is.
Yes.
Society considers an at-risk youth as an individual that is in an adolescent phase that is at risk of either death, jail, prison, or dropping out of school. So
Mm,
that's what society deems an at-risk kid. If you're at risk of not being able to make that transition into adulthood without help or corrective um, agendas and things of that nature. So to identify these youth, because we know as adolescents, you're typically trying to decide who you are. You're picking up your personality. You're coming into the knowledge of yourself and who you're going to become or what you desire to be. So when you see a kid that's really, really awkwardly silent, standoffish, that youth is more than likely at risk. Why is that kid at risk? They may have experienced some level of trauma. Trauma is a big part of what puts kids into that category because in society and the times that we're living in, a lot of kids have experienced trauma at a very early age at some shape, form, or fashion. We have abuse, neglect, and exploitation, sexual health issues,
mm,
educational disengagement. If you have a kid that's at school and just reckless, don't care, don't do work, just sit there, sleep, other things like that, let's not flunk them. Let's get to the root of the problem. Let's get them
yes.
some help. Let's get them to a counselor because that's not I mean, there could be a learning problem, a learning curve there, or there could just be they not getting the push they need in
Mm,
their home environment and they kind of just living out what they're being taught. And so homelessness, family violence, drug and alcohol addictions, cultural identity, and general gender related issues. some of the signs: mental health illness, disability and learning speech impairments, like offending behaviors. All of those are signs to look for. Problematic sexualized behaviors. All those things are some signs to look at that will help you to identify what an at-risk youth looks like in your everyday commutes or interactions.
And thank you for that. Along with the list of signs or signal, and you use the word, and I'm gonna use social withdrawn or socially withdrawn, or a keyword you said isolation. The first thing that will go to our mind is, oh, he or she is shy, and we automatically dismiss it because we think that they're shy, not realizing that is a sign or a trigger. And you also said trauma or traumatized. And but we have to be able to get to the root of the problem. We focus on the outcomes, the result, the backlash, the behavioral patterns, but not get to the root of it. So I'm glad you were able to list um, some of the triggers of what could be or cause, one to be an at-risk youth. But it's so broad though, because you're talking and I'm thinking, but it's so broad in a sense. What else would you, and I'm talking about education right now, what else would you, or would you say, or to cause one awareness of what an at-risk youth is pertaining to adults, or to educate us, the one that's in the community, about how to identify an at-risk kids? Because I said that to say this, well, they're just acting up, they're just going through that adolescent stage, they'll get out of it, they'll be done with, they're fighting. Why are you fighting? You're frustrated. And after a while, as parents, we make it a personal issue, like, you're embarrassing me. Why are you making me do that? Why are you fighting? I've put a roof over your head. I've given you food. I've given you, why are you doing all of this? So immediately they're turning into there. It's about me, rather than trying to find out what the immediate problem is. So what other signs or signals for parents, especially, so they could know and identify what an at-risk youth is?
So honestly, a lot of at-risk kids do come from really strong home and family environments. Like, what we have to realize is in 2021, it's nothing like it was in 2011 or, in years of past. And so with that being said, the things that used to be signs, like, we come up in a generation of what happens at home stays at home, don't talk my business, don't do this and that. And so, but that's what we were taught because that was handed out to our parents and grandparents and so forth and so on. Well, in 2021, these kids have so much exposure to so many things. The biggest things for youth these days, even if you govern properly and raise them properly, is social acceptance. Children will go completely left when they get to school because they don't want to be bullied. They don't want peer pressure. They don't want to be harassed. They just want to be accepted and get through the school day. So school is a survival mechanism for that social acceptance. I will say the way parents can identify, if your child comes home, like if you and your child had a very good relationship and they just stop talking to you, they start locking in their rooms. They start wearing the baggy clothes and the hoodies. Like, a lot of kids, when you put on big clothes and hoodies, you're hiding. You want to hide. You don't want to be seen. You're reducing yourself. You're reducing visibility. And that means that clearly something is happening outside of the home. And as parents, I get it. We all have bills. We have lives. We do provide. We put food on the table. But us parents, we get in the way of the relationship with our kids a lot because we treat them as property, not as people. We treat them as, and we know what's best for you. I take care of you. You're going to do this way. But that's what we were given.
Yes.
In 2021, that doesn't work anymore. And that's why joy flows in the vein of a different approach. So we take different approaches on everything. We don't give the children the voice to where they determine exactly what the outcome is going to be. But in listening to them, you hear the solution, because these kids have access to so much stuff and they don't have the mental capacity to channel it. So they just run around with all this information with nowhere to release it or to know how to release it. So there's just so many things, which is why the organization must have different components. Like, I know with Joy, we have a ministry arm, we have a counseling arm, Then we have direct mentors, in which the mentors just deal with the day in life in the environment that the children reside. So, like, most of our mentors have a backstory and are relatable
Okay.
because the children are going to respect what they can relate to. They're going
Sure.
to begin to trust what they can relate to, and they'll open up and share some things. Another thing about joy, our goal is not to remove a kid from the home. Home is more than likely the best place for the kid in most cases, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our goal is to mentor and intervene and be that bridge that helps that home environment mend, you know? And so we just have curriculum and things in place to better serve the youth in the communities that are underserved and underprivileged. Because really, when you take out the term at risk, that's kind of like a term that they created for us to associate and
Yes.
identify. But reality is, let's call a spade a spade. At-risk kids are considered to only come from a certain side of the tracks. They're only considered to look a certain way, walk a certain way. They're usually the poverty areas. And there are some pure geniuses that come out of the poverty, like our former president, Barack Obama. He's from the hood in Chicago, but look what he became.
Yes.
So you don't have to be what society says you will become, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we have to get in there and bridge that gap and advocate on behalf of these children to let them know we believe in you. We not only believe in you, we support you. We're pushing your agenda and things of that nature. So at-risk youth are really just a way of saying, okay, you're from the project, you're from the hood, and we don't expect you to succeed.
So, what have you done for, when I said the visibility of joy? I said that to say this: when we were growing up, we had 4-H clubs in our apartment complex, and we had basketball youth clubs down the street, almost on every corner. And as we grew up, they started to dissipate.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're seeing a building. No, we had 4-H clubs, we had Boys and Girls Club, we still have those, Scouts, we still have those. But all of the community basketball courts and programs are literally just dissipating. So how would you and how can you bring visibility and bring awareness to parents that's dealing with this but didn't know how to identify it? Well, what are ways that they could contact you, reach out to you, even though you are not in their local city? What can they look for so they can now research programs like that in their local city?
Honestly, I believe, okay, so there are a lot of nonprofit organizations that are catered and centered around youth. You can look for things like children home societies. You can look for programs for youth like at-risk kids. You can even Google at-risk kids. Every city has something, multiple programs that are available and multiple resources that are available to parents who have these children. Now, the catch is a lot of it isn't advertised, so you have to physically go look for it because the marketing dollars are just not there in most cases. And so
Okay.
when we run these types of programs, we take those dollars and put it into the community we serve so much and not putting up billboards and running ads and campaigns. We do some of that stuff as organizations that service at-risk kids, but we like to make sure our dollar makes a difference. And so we're boots on the ground, grassroots type of people in most cases because you have to lock elbows, you have to be on the ground, you have to make things happen. And so, but parents looking for organizations, you just simply do a Google search for at-risk youth programs and you type in your city and it'll give you at least 7 or 8 places, depending on the size of your town, that's available that you can make contact and kind of learn, how you can get help or support for your youth.
Okay. And what is the goal within the next 3 to 5 years for Joy?
So Joy is in the next 3 to 5 years looking to be an all-out youth campus. We're looking to have production school. We're looking to have regular school. We're looking to have youth ministry, athletics, of course. And then we're also looking at preventative care services to provide residential
Yes.
housing for youth that are at risk that parents need help with. And we're looking to be able to keep them from becoming a part of that jail to prison system by
Mm.
being a preventative care program where a parent can commit you to the program and not law enforcement or a judge. So that's what some of our goals are for the future. Our most recent initiative is because there's a lot of violence, gun violence happening within the younger generation, ages 15 to 21. So we've started an initiative, Gloves Not Guns, and what that is to get the kids to boxing under supervision, of course, and with proper training, so that they can get out some of that energy that they need to release, that anger, that rage, or whatever it is. But the benefit of it and the beauty of it is everyone goes home. And so that's our most recent initiative. Also, we do what we call a Young Entrepreneurs Club. And what that is we train youth ages 16 to 21 on entrepreneurship and business. Because I'm in Florida. Florida happens to be the highest direct file state in the United States. Direct file simply means that a kid is tried as an adult and the court sees them as an adult. So when they are handed down a sentence, they go to adult jail, adult prison. And they are as young, in the state of Florida, the youngest was 11 years old. As of now, they've changed that law. And so now you have to be about 14, but that's still young to go to adult prison. We have so many direct file cases. With that being said, these children don't finish their education. So they're dropouts, and most of them, because of the gap in their learning, they don't want to pick school back up or go get a GED because society is cruel. They judge you for your past and they don't want to help become a part of the solution. So pride causes you to just say, you know what, I'm not going to do that, and kind of hide and put this wall up. So with that being said, we go after them for Young Entrepreneur Club to teach them a trade or how to have a business. And so not only teach them, but support them for the first 12 months of that journey, where they're giving homework, and leaders in the community that have successful businesses that are 6 figures or better are mentoring these youth into entrepreneurship.
Man, you did mention, well, that's good. That's so good. Because you're talking, I just see Joy as an advocate in the courthouse, intercepting, and we will take on the responsibility of educating, reforming, and reshaping the mind. I just saw like a huge interception. Now, you mentioned curriculum. What about GED? Would that be a part of your curriculum so they'd be able to finish school?
We do offer GEDs, definitely. We partner with the local college and they provide GED training and administer the exams for our youth that come through the program that do want to acquire their GED. So we are able to provide GED.
And what about college? Would you have that program where you'll be able to help them or sponsor them to start off in like a junior college?
So that is up and coming. We don't have that relationship built just yet, and we also don't have the funding to provide scholarship for the youth that do show an interest. But we do have people that can reach out to different councils at different and stuff like that, and help students to enroll in college and see about applying for scholarships that the college offers. So we are doing that, but as of right now, Joy is not personally offering scholarships to the youth as of yet. It's definitely something that we aim to do in the future, but we're just kind of following milestones to reach goals to make sure that they're attained.
And again, going back to the curriculum for youths that are, families that are not in the state of Florida. If you don't have it in place now, do you think that you'll have that program in place where they could enroll if they're in another state? To be a part of that interception program when it comes to retraining, educating, when it comes to curriculum, or being a part of your program?
So we definitely have a goal to be able to service all 50 states. That is definitely a plan that's in motion. So truthfully, even if you do not reside in Florida, the goal is at-risk youth. And even if you want to be a part of bringing it to your state, definitely reach out. We are on all social media platforms, Journey of Our Youth. Our website is journeyofouryouth.org, and we have a phone number, 850-610-1206. So you'll be able to get in touch with us through any of those methods in regards to speaking more about, what your passion is and how we can work together, or if you just have questions and concerns about your youth and they may need to speak to some counselors and get some
Yes.
help, because Joy does offer free counseling to at-risk kids, and we do have licensed counselors and psychiatrists and social workers on our staff.
Oh, awesome. And how can they find you on Facebook?
Facebook, we're on Facebook as Joy, Jooy.
Good.
We're also on Instagram at Journey of Our Youth, and we're on Twitter, JOOY 2020.
JOY. Thank you so much, Bob, for even being a contributor to our community. That's being a voice to advocate, but also bringing awareness and building a community, one that is safe and secure and will fortify yet the minds of those at risk. Thank you so much for your contribution. Is there anything else you would like for our audience to know about your up and coming events, or how they could donate or contribute to your organization?
Absolutely. So if you're interested in donating to what Joy is doing and the growth and expansion, or even helping the kids, we do have Venmo, we do have Text to Give, we also have Cash App, and we have you can donate from our website as well. We have a donate page on there. We have sponsorship opportunities as well, and we're always looking to partner with people and build relationships so that we can lock elbows and cross the line together in supporting the youth and letting them know that they have us as a community, bridging the gap for them.
Oh, thank you so much, Barbara. Until then, thank you for being a leader that leads differently. Continue to keep pressing and building and fortifying with your innovative mind. Thank you so much for what you're doing.
No problem. Thank you guys so much for having me.